Good evening and welcome to program News at 7, where every story shapes a world. I'm your host Mahnoor Qureshi. Let's take a look on the top stories we'll be discussing tonight. And we'll start with the Egyptian foreign minister visit to Pakistan, where Pakistan is hosting an important diplomatic visit of Egyptian foreign minister in Pakistan, who's here for the 2-day state visit. The discussions focused on enhancing the bilateral relationship, enhancing the economic cooperation, and especially the regional coordination, especially when it comes to Gaza situation. Egypt has a bigger suggestion for Pakistan, where Egypt has encouraged a role of Pakistan in reconstruction of Gaza and humanitarian aid as well. So we'll try to decode the diplomatic and economic implications of it. If Pakistan would be a part of international stabilization force, what would be the diplomatic and economic implications of it? Then we'll talk about another security concern that emerged abroad, and that is something really important. We always talk about that the regional actors, what they are playing in the neighboring countries, how they are playing and how they're changing the discourse of the world. So we'll talk about another security concern that emerged abroad, where Afghan national who entered US under Operation Welcome Allies has been arrested because he was allegedly targeting and threatening to bomb a building, and this comes right after a day when another Afghan was involved in such kind of violent incident in US. So we'll try to decode the regional implications of it, diplomatic implications of it, and especially in terms of refugees and the militants, how it would affect the refugees in the world, where we have seen the geopolitical situation of the world is changing. There are a lot of refugee crises as well. We need to deal with that, and then there is Afghan national who are trying to threatening the peaceful environment of US. We'll try to decode it as well, and we'll start with the important visit of Foreign Minister of Egypt to Pakistan, where Pakistan is hosting an important diplomatic visit this week. The Egyptian Foreign Minister here in Islamabad on 2-day official visit aimed at strengthening the regional cooperation and deepening the bilateral ties. During these meetings, he said that the proposed international stabilization force for Gaza should focus mainly on monitoring and ceasefire and improving the border security. He also encouraged a bigger role for Pakistan in Gaza's reconstruction, humanitarian support, and technical support. At the same time, we have seen that Pakistan and Egypt have agreed to enhance economic cooperation. Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar shared that Pakistan will provide a list of 250 Pakistan business houses to Cairo to boost trade and investment. So tonight we'll discuss what is this visit means for Pakistan's diplomacy, economic implications of it, and obviously the international standings of Pakistan. For this, we are joined by Shahid Kiani, who is a former ambassador, and then we are having Dr. Rizwan Naseer as well, who is the foreign affairs expert. Welcome you both. I'll start with Mr. Shahid. What do you think? What are the implications of this visit for Pakistan if Pakistan agrees to contribute to Gaza stabilization force? Because we have seen there are a lot of crises domestically as well. We have to deal with the neighboring countries. We have to deal with a lot of challenges. So what are the political or diplomatic implications you think about it?
First of all, I'm honored to be on your show. The other thing is, yes, the visit of the Egyptian foreign minister is extremely important, and I will tell you why. Egypt is a leading Arab country and has immense political influence in the Middle East. Once when we talk about in the context of Gaza, where you it borders the Gaza territory, it has provided immense political support and then humanitarian assistance when the people of Gaza needed it. So this is extremely important. The visit comes in at a time when the situation in Gaza is still not very clear, still not very stable, and off and on you hear the Israeli forces killing the Palestinians there. The meeting between our deputy foreign minister and foreign minister and the Egyptian counterpart has continues. I think they will be here till tomorrow, and then we will be we'll come to know at the, as or rather we'll come to know when the communique is finally issued. But this time we consider that the visit is of immense importance because Pakistan is a partner along with other countries like Egypt in ensuring the peace returns permanently to Gaza. and our support to the two-state solution. Without the two-state solution, this this the issue of Gaza will be repeated again, again, and again. So this is extremely important. When you talk about, let me just first answer you the Pakistan's contribution to the stabilization force in Gaza. I have just read the statement of our foreign minister, but I think more clarity needs to be seen, maybe in a day or two, when we come to know that what will be our contribution to the forces and what will be our role. It's extremely important what will be our role. If we have to be clear on that. And my own, as a diplomacy practitioner, if you look at peacekeeping forces around the world, they have gone under the umbrella of the United Nations. So this is important. What will the UN role would be when Pakistan, along with other countries, sends its forces to Gaza to ensure peace prevails in Gaza. But then there is the lingering fear of the Israeli forces who are still there. What will they be doing? So this is very important. Let's hope that the Pakistan's decision will be a very matured one. And for that, we'll have to wait a day or two. Regarding this, again, I will come back. I will wait for you another question if you want to ask.
I'll surely ask, and obviously we have to look for the other options as well, what we can do about it, because we have been a part of this process. We support it, and we were very happy and celebrating when there was a ceasefire along with the other countries of the world. But we have to face a lot of questions, a lot of issues domestically as well, in the neighboring countries as well. So, Dr. Naseer, being a foreign affairs expert, what do you think that what does this call from Egypt for Pakistan's involvement in Gaza reconstruction signifies about the Pakistan role, especially in the Muslim world? Dr. Naseer, can you hear me? I request Mr. Shahid Kiani sab, can you please answer about it?
Okay.
That what
Yeah,
does this
I will.
call means for Pakistan, especially their role in the Muslim world?
I will say to you, I have read the statement when he arrived, the Egyptian foreign minister, and I would like to quote him, and he said very clearly that they would welcome Pakistan's contribution to the reconstruction of Gaza, both in terms of can we be financially contribute, and then our expertise in the reconstruction process. So this is extremely important. Let's see as to how things move, because reconstruction, please remember, can only take place when there is complete peace in Gaza. It will take decades for the reconstruction to go on. But then you have to be sure that when the reconstruction continues, there is really 0% interference in this. And I will again say to you, this reconstruction should take place under the auspices, again, umbrella of the United Nations. Until unless United Nations and another one, the guarantor has to be the United States. United States, people like it or not, plays a very pivotal role as far as the relationship with Israel is concerned. So, United States has to be a guarantor that when the reconstruction takes place, Israel will stay away from the Gaza territory completely. Its forces has to go away and sign an agreement that then when the reconstruction continues, we will stay away and don't disturb. Because reconstruction means, please try to understand, civilian people going there, people trying to see setting up clearing roads, clearing building, clearing hospitals which are broken, and then allowing the people who have left these places to come back. It will take ages. I'm telling you very frank, it's not very easy. But the the aim and objective, as I say, the first step is important. And let's see, the spirit behind the reconstruction is to give the people of Gaza a their due place. They have been living here for ages. Let them give them this place, and that will be the reconstruction. And Pakistan would be more than willing to take part in it, even financially also. But we have to clearly know as to who will be the guarantor when the reconstruction takes place.
And exactly, your point is well taken that we have to look up to the international bodies who are authorized to do that, and reconstruction and rehabilitation require civic engagement, and that's very important. Dr. Rizwan, coming towards you, how could Pakistan balance its humanitarian commitment with the geopolitical challenges and risk engaging in the Gaza? Dr. Rizwan, please unmute your mic. I request you to please unmute your mic and answer the question regarding the Gaza situation, where Pakistan needs to balance its humanitarian. Do you really think that Pakistan needs to balance its humanitarian commitment and the challenges Pakistan is facing domestically, and especially in the parties and stakeholders engaging in Gaza?
Thank you very much for having me on your show. Yes, this is a very challenging situation given Pakistan's internal situation and the Gaza's conflict. Now, we have a few things before us, like international stabilization force. If Pakistan is committing international stabilization force, it is going to be challenged, but at the same time, this challenge is not without opportunities as well. It would be renewing Pakistan's commitment to that humanitarian cause, especially with the Palestinians. And number two, at this point, no major bodies like United Nations, European Union, OIC, all of the major bodies, which we may call it kind of apolitical, which are not that much political, but there comes the countries who individually are saying that yes, we can play the role. If Pakistan commits the forces there will be challenging challenges. Of course, Ambassador Saab was highlighting already. Pakistan needs some assurances from the United States, European Union, OIC, etc., that if this reconstruction is going to take place, in this reconstruction, the Israelis will have no interference politically in any way. Of course, militarily, there is no question about it. No militarily interference in that reconstruction process. Number two, why the European Union is not coming up with a very clear strategy of reconstruction. That is my point. Pakistan, I know, with wholeheartedly, it's committing stabilization force, but internally, what people will be thinking that if Pakistani soldiers, Pakistani people are going for reconstruction, and what if, God forbid, they lose their lives, they get martyred, because reconstruction also comes with its own challenges. There will be an internal pressure once again. So my point is that Pakistan need to take all the OIC members on board first and say yes, we put some conditions to United States, and on those conditions, yes, Pakistan would be contributing forces, and with that, of course, Israelis have to restrain their activities in Gaza. I think if this kind of things are done, of course, it will be opening up diplomatic opportunities for Pakistan. Because if you see, Saudi Arabia mostly relies on Pakistan. Egypt, which is the biggest stakeholder in this and controls the Rafah crossing as well. Egypt in coordination with Qatar. And of course, once again, Qatar needs Pakistan. Pakistan's armed forces are very professional, and Pakistan is the largest contributor of peacekeeping forces. So we have a very good track record of peacekeeping as well. So I think so if Pakistan contributes the forces for international stabilization force, yes, it will be challenging, but we will be able to stabilize and we will be able to balance out the situation as you were asking in your question.
All right, so we were talking about the opportunities coming towards you, Shahid Saab, as we are talking about the opportunity for Pakistan in international stabilization force, and Pakistan and Egypt agreed to enhance their economic relationships as well. So what opportunities do you think arise from sharing a list of 250 business houses with Egypt to boost the bilateral trade between Pakistan and Egypt?
First of all, let me just narrate to you what Dr. Saab was saying, just to enlarge this discussion for just about a few minutes. You see, we had Pakistan experience a big tragedy in Somalia many decades back when our forces came under attack. So, coming back to this part, this Gaza, we have to be the decision to send our international stabilization forces part of it. We have to be absolutely more than 100% sure that yes, no harm, God forbid, will come to our forces as they go into Gaza. And for that, I again say to you, apart from the guarantees of UN and OIC and European Union, we have to have the United States putting in black and white in writing that yes, we guarantee that these forces, when they go there, stabilization forces, because they are the ones who will make way for the reconstruction to come. Please try to understand these are the forces will ensure that the reconstruction will commence. I tell you frankly. Coming back to the Egyptian foreign minister visit, yes, you look at it's a very important visit, and our foreign minister very clear that the joint ministerial commission, the bilateral consultation has not taken place for many years. It's unfortunate, but they said that okay, next year these two the meetings which take place, JMC and the political consultation, because see, and then these things they have said that 250 houses, trade houses, business houses will be shared in names with Egypt, and we will select and send the best business people there. So this is something very important because businesses improve the lives of people on both the sides. People to this is also enlarges the people to people contact. So I think this is a very positive development which I've seen. The other thing which I'm trying to tell you is the Egyptian foreign minister was also very grieved at the issues of terrorism which has taken place in Pakistan. He condemned it and he sympathized with our people. So this is something very important that we have gained sympathy of one of the leading Arab countries like Egypt. They understand our challenges. Third thing I want to say to you, you asked me this question. I'm sorry, I forgot about it. That we are sending our forces at a time when we are facing challenges in our eastern and western borders both. So we will have to balance out as to what we do. And if you can,
Shahid Sab, I asked you about sharing the list of 250 business houses to Egypt
yeah,
to boost the economic cooperation. What's the
right.
benefit of it? What are the opportunities lies in it? You have already mentioned that it would obviously enhance and make better the lifestyle of people from both sides. But if you want to comment on it any further, you can.
Okay, okay, staying with this. Uh, yeah, Egypt has probably the largest population in the Arab world, and it is at the crossroads of you know the Africa and the Middle East, a very important country historically also, and we have had relations with Egypt for the last now many decades. So let's hope, and that once these 250 houses are out of that, they they actively take part in improving business ties with Egypt and with the rest of the Arab world.
All right. We are so thankful to you, Shahid Kiani sir, for joining us tonight. We were joined by Mr. Shahid Kiani, who's former ambassador, and he was talking about the importance of Egyptian foreign minister visit to Pakistan. He's currently in Pakistan on his 2 days official visit. Coming towards you, Dr. Naseer, what do you think? We are talking about the sharing of 250 250 business houses. What do you think, in which sectors could Pakistan business most benefit from the enhanced cooperation with Egypt, and why do you think about the specific sectors if you mention?
Yes, this is of course, Shaisab also mentioned. I would say, if a country has a geopolitical as well as geo-economic engagement with Pakistan, a country like Egypt, I think so it's going to be very positive. And you asked which sector. I would like to highlight some of the sectors which have potential in Pakistan to boost trade with Egypt. Is, for example, Pakistan is one of the leading countries in textile production. Pakistan's exports are said to be the one of the finest in the world. So I think so. Export is the textile exports are going to boost if we trade with Egypt. Egypt is in a MENA region, Middle East and North African region. So I think so. If we target that market, this is also in quite in alignment with Pakistan's policy to enhance exports. Then I think we have one of the major industry which is called medical supplies. Pakistan's medical supplies indigenously produced, I think, and pharmaceutical industry that is also very cost competitive, and Pakistan produces one of the best, supplies. I think so. The Egypt, of course, demands this kind of trade with Pakistan. The other thing is that Pakistan is an agriculture-based country, and Pakistan's exports, like Pakistan's rice, is once again the best rice in the world, basmati rice. Then Pakistan has mangoes. Pakistan is now, this is going to be winter citrus, etc. I think it is going to hit new market by engaging with Egypt. Then comes which is the most demanding in Pakistan is IT industry. These days Pakistan's government is prioritizing and is giving seed funding to the media house, especially IT houses, which are doing best performing, especially the youth, young people. So I think so. If Pakistani IT industry is going to have trade, for example, IT based products, and we can export as well as import with the Egypt, this is going to be once again best. And last thing I would like to add is after facing challenges with UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Gulf region where Pakistan had manpower. I mean, so people who are working there. Recently, people are facing troubles traveling to those countries. I think so. We can have a new market where skilled people can go and contribute to Pakistan's economy in a very well way. I think so. There are other plenty of opportunities as well we can mention, but I think so. These are the major areas where Pakistan and Egypt can have bilateral trade, as well as Pakistan can have a potential to contribute through exports as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rizwan Naseer, for joining us tonight. Now we are moving towards another guest, G.R. Baluch Saab, who's the foreign policy expert and former ambassador as well. G.R. Baluch Saab, welcome to the show. We are talking about the Egyptian foreign minister visit to Pakistan, talking about the suggestion by Egyptian foreign minister for Pakistan to play a bigger role in Gaza conflict, and especially in humanitarian aid and reconstruction of Gaza, where we have seen that Pakistan and Egypt both agreed to enhance their bilateral trade as well. So, how will these regional actors, when we talk about the regional actors and global powers, how do you think that how they would view Pakistan if it plays an active role in Gaza's stabilization force and reconstruction? I'll start with it, and then I'll come towards the economic cooperation and bilateral trade as well.
Thank you. I think this is a very significant visit from geostrategic point of view and from geo-economic point of view. And in fact, there have been a kind of a gap in terms of Pakistan-Egypt bilateral relationships. They did kind of experience a period of kind of, if not total dormancy, but like we did not see it. But I'm so happy to see that one after the other visitors coming to Islamabad, and this is part of that re-inauguration or diplomatic reactivation of Pakistan's enhanced role globally and in the region. And for Egypt, I think is important because what happens is that Egypt and Pakistan are two major middle powers. So strategic resetting of the relationship is
So we are talking about the Egyptian foreign minister visit to Pakistan, where we have talked about the involvement of Pakistan, if Pakistan would involved in international stabilization force. To talk about this, we are joined by G.R. Baluch, who's the former ambassador and foreign policy expert. Mr. G.R. Baluch, please continue.
Yes. So I was saying that what can happen is, yes, I'll come specifically to your question of what role we shall play there. But let me just, in the parenthesis, say that this is one of the most important after our strategic mutual defense relationship agreement with Saudi Arabia. I think this is equally important and vital that we have again reconnected at the strategic level. And why I'm saying this, that this can have several advantages strategically for the region in this most fragmented world, where we don't know what way the new world order, so-called multipolar world, would look like. But sure enough, Pakistan and other Muslim and middle powers, especially middle powers, that is Pakistan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, want to be the authors. They want to be the part of writing the script for the multipolar world to which we'll be dealing with. So I think a collaboration and cooperation and enhanced strategic cooperation with another important country like Egypt, which has its own significance because it is the strategic heart of the Middle East. It sits on the most vital artery of the global trade, the Suez Canal. It has like a critical mass of people, a good military, and a extremely uh, like an enviable political clout within the Middle East and the world. Likewise, Pakistan, the only nuclear Muslim power, having its own on road to, it has established itself as the middle global power. So I think convergence of these two countries is a force multiplier for the Muslim world.
Your point is well taken. You have mentioned that Turkey, Qatar, and Egypt are trying to write the script of a multipolar world. Do you think that it is beneficial, especially when it comes to Muslim world? How do you see it? I just want you to have a brief remarks on it so that we can move towards our next topic as well.
Yeah, definitely, because I see a arc of collaboration, right? Like from Suez Canal, that is from Ankara to Cairo to Riyadh to Tehran to Islamabad, Jakarta, and KL. So if all these middle powers, emerging power, if they complement all their diplomatic, their economic, their educational, scientific power, I think it will become a power to reckon with. We cannot be dictated then. Perhaps we will be the partners in whatever happens in the future in the world. So far, we have been always following somebody else's script. There would be always other people to tell us how to do our relationships, our economies, how to do that. So I think with this collaboration, and I think this could be a good template. What we have done with the agreement with Saudi Arabia, now a strategic, hopefully, as a more strategic, formal, structured strategic collaboration can take place. Of course, a business council has been announced, but we can move forward and have other strategic avenues to further collaborate and multiply our power. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll take your remarks on another security concern as well. Stay with us. So we are moving towards a major development from United States, where a second Afghan national who had been paroled under Operation Allies Welcome was arrested in Texas on terrorism charges. According to the report, the suspect allegedly threatened to blow up a building and had posted a video on social media appearing to show him assembling what might have been explosive devices. This arrest came just a day before another Afghan national was accused of carrying out an attack on U.S. National Guard soldiers in Washington, triggering new security concerns and prompting the stricter U.S. immigration and policies and reviews for the Afghan entering the country under humanitarian programs. As the world watches closely, these incidents place a spotlight on the issue of refuge vetting and the counterterrorism and obviously the global refugee immigration regime, with the broader implications for countries like Pakistan, which share deep cultural and immigratory ties with Afghanistan. So tonight we'll try to explore the repercussions of this arrest, its effect on the international perception of Afghan refugees, and what it may means for Pakistan and for the region. For this, we are joined by Brigadier retired Syed Ghazanfar Ali, who is a defense analyst. Brigadier Ghazanfar, I'll start with the implications of it. How do you see it? That what does this arrest of second Afghan national in the U.S. imply about the security risks associated with the large-scale refugees and the humanitarian settlement programs?
Thank you very much. There is not another country in the world which has shared hospitality, gone beyond the means at the governmental level and at the people level also, by accommodating 40 lakh refugees into Pakistan, in the country, which is Pakistan. And we have done all that which the world has seen. There have been Afghanis who came during the Soviet war, but after that, till today, there have been Afghans who've been coming to Pakistan, and Pakistan has been extending. Pakistan people, even the social circle, common man, have been extending all sorts of facilities, all sorts of gratitudes to Afghanis who have been coming here for education, for hospitalization, for commercialization, for projects, for trade. But what have we got in return? That is writing on the wall. That in return we have been only been receiving terrorism threats, ungrateful remarks by the ministers, As one of them said that the India had done a lot for us, Pakistan has done nothing. So very briefly, by these measures which Afghans have done towards Pakistan at the governmental level, and the government, the members of which stayed in Pakistan madrasas, participated in politics, created their shuras. What have Pakistan got in return? You have seen that they have been ungrateful remarks, and they have been sending all terrorists. They have been accommodating terrorists, financing terrorism. There have been 33 about terrorist networks which are operating in Afghanistan, and they were being patronized by these Munafiqeen government. So, by way of this, by saying, since you asked about America, but by saying this thing, I want to put the character of the leadership and character of the Afghans in front of the world, that whosoever has been doing favors to them, they have been stabbing him in the back. Now you go into America, Americans, and especially the terrorist activities which has been taken place in America, where a man shot down the National Guard and one another has been arrested. And let me tell you, this will keep on going on, because these Afghans, they cannot live without lifting a gun, without firing on somebody, without killing somebody. It is in their nature. Biden had done a san on them. Biden had done a favor on them, that they had taken those people who had been working with CIA, with Afghan, with the American army and all that. But what have they done? So this speaks of the character of these Afghan nation. Now going on to the implication, in implications, if you see, the world should now understand, which the world is not understanding. And if they are understanding, they are not accepting it. Even the Americans are not accepting it. You know, in spite of all this terrorism which has been going on in Pakistan, and Pakistan had been highlighting it at different forums, right, starting from the government level, bilateral, trilateral, Moscow format, Doha format, anything you take off. Pakistan has been, and recent, when the negotiation between Pakistan and Afghan Afghan officials were going on, Pakistan had been emphasizing on one point: they stop terrorism from your country. Start, let your soil not be used for terrorism, which you promised in Doha, which even you promised in Khana Kaaba. Even you promised that your soil, but they are not even worldly people. They are not even religious. They don't have any religion. They don't believe on any belief. So Americans should have realized that there has been terrorism going on in Pakistan from Afghanistan, and even then the Americans have been giving them $40 million a week to run their government. If they do not understand now, there will be third incident also. If they lay sanctions on the visa, if they improve their immigration skills, well, that will go with the Americans. But what happens the terrorism, what happens with the Afghan, which is not only a danger for Pakistan, it is creating a danger for the regions also. Because what happened in Pakistan, you have seen now they have Al Qaeda in their soil. Al Qaeda, they are training Al Qaeda to undertake terrorist activities in Central Asian Republic and Russia. There's ETIM, which is being harbored by this Munafiqeen government, and there's a training.
Brigadier Ghazanfar, your point is well taken. We are going a bit out off the topic, but these remarks are not coming from a civic government. These remarks are not coming from a democratic government. They are not the true representative of Afghan people. So we are not going to take this narrative from them. We are not going to buy this because they are not from a legitimate government. Only a legitimate government can share their concerns with a legitimate government, a democratic government, which is there in Pakistan. So we'll wait for the democratic government. We'll wait for the civic government, people, the true representative of Afghan citizens to come in power and then comment about it. We have seen the repercussions of it. We have seen what they are going through inside the country, what the people there, especially the women and children, are going through. Their domestic laws are against the humanitarian laws of the world. We have seen it. But do you really think that such kind of incident, when you talk about that, how might these incidents affect the international community's trust in accepting refugees, not only from Afghanistan, but across the globe when we talk about accepting the refugees?
You see, there's had to be a policy about accepting the refugees. Pakistan has accepted refugees and is still accepting refugees, though we did not make any concrete policy onto that where they will stay, how will they stay. But other countries, like if you talk of Afghan or refugees from any country, there should be a strict policy for accepting those people. And especially, I personally feel accepting those people who have been involved in some form of the armed combat or who have been involved in somebody training in the armed combat. By if you see this specific case, in this case, all those people who have been fighting with the American army against Taliban, they should be very critically scrutinized. That can they be taken into that country? If they are taken into that country, that they should be surveilled, they should be kept in such places where their activities can be observed. But whatever has happened, I said, I mean, that has to have an effect onto the world about the Afghan affair. If there's a terrorism going on from Afghanistan, or if there is somebody who has taken terrorism in America, that can happen in other countries. They have gone to Germany also. They have gone to other countries also. So this, it's a time, it's point to ponder on. And when it concerns Pakistan, the point which is important to think over is that the wave of terrorism which is being unleashed from Afghan soil, that needs to be uh, addressed at the world level. That needs to be addressed at the United Nations level. There is need to formulate some law by dictating or by asking Afghan occupational government, which you yourself said is not a people representative government. If it's not a people representative government, there's a need to pass a remarks onto the authority of this government. And Pakistan had been doing that. Pakistan had been raising the issue, but now this issue is to be raised by other countries also. It is to be raised at the international level. And all these activities, everybody has said in the world that terrorism is the biggest threat for the security of every sovereign country, any sovereign nation. So if terrorism is the biggest threat, and this terrorism is extending from Tajikistan to American soil, and from American soil to Pakistan, against Pakistan, this has been going on, and there's a nexus of Afghan and Indian government also, which is funding these terrorists, which is funding the Afghan government to organize, to patronize, to undertake terrorist activities inside Pakistan. If there is a nexus of the Mossad and RAW and Afghan intelligence government existing in Afghanistan, existing in Indian embassy, so it needs to be taken notice of. If it is not addressed, what would happen? This wave of terrorism will spread further in other countries also. As there are, I told you, there's ETIM, which is being trained by the Afghan Taliban. So what will ETIM do? It will go to Xinjiang province. It had been undertaking terrorist activity there, and its remnants, its organizational structure is present in Afghanistan. Al Qaeda is being strengthened. This I am not saying. This is even the Inspector General of Reconstruction, Cigar, who is a representative of the American government. He has formulated this in his report that Al Qaeda is being strengthened in Afghanistan to undertake terrorist activities worldwide. So if these facts are now come into the open, and you have studied, you must have studied United Nations Monitoring and Analytical Team report. What did they say? They said that one occupational government is providing space, logistic space, and operational places to these 33 terrorist organizations, which are being operated by this occupational government and being financed by them. So is it time to take notice of these things? Somebody should take notice of. Pakistan has been raising this point, but other countries also where these Afghan refugees have gone, and the governments have taken that. There's a point to raise this issue at that level, and there should be a international response against the terrorism, because world has repeatedly said that Pakistan is fighting war against terrorism not for its own security, but for the world security. So if Pakistan is fighting for the world peace, so other powers in the world also need to take the notice of this situation and curtail relationship with the Afghan government.
All right, your point is
And
well taken. So moving towards you, GR Balot Sahab, we were talking about the involvement of Afghan soil in, spreading terror across the globe, not only in neighboring countries, but we have seen what Afghan nationals are doing in US as well. So previously there were evidences that India is involved in US and Canada. Do you really think that this time India is, playing through Afghan soil or an Afghan people, Afghan citizen across the globe?
I have been articulating this point of view that Afghanistan is now practically the epicenter of international terrorism. And the complexity of this issue is further serious because earlier it used to harbor non-state actors, and they used to be acting against target countries. But now we see, unfortunately, that since the enhancement and upgradation of and warming of relationship between Taliban regime and BJP RSS regime in Delhi, it appears that if that devolved doctrine is being operationalized from Afghanistan, and the target countries might be hit there. See why I say that what happened in Tajikistan, uh, the Chinese nationals, two of them, they were targeted with a very sophisticated weapon. It was a drone armed with grenades and with the weapons. So it cannot be just just non-state actors. They do not have that kind of a training and equipment. So some state, some other like more organized force has to be behind them. So one cannot rule out the possibility of a intentional or unintentional acts of omission and commission uh, from the territory of Afghanistan being committed by devolved operatives. Who knows? So I think the world needs to look at from all angles, whether it is continuation of what happened in Canada, what happened earlier with regard to attempted murder on a Sikh in Washington. So I think the world has to scrutinize the nexus, look at it more minutely, and I think a more collaboration, coordination with Pakistan and other China and Central Asian states has to be done along with those five eyes. They do look at the world, but I think let it be now 10 eyes to look at Afghanistan and to determine if that nexus is there, then I think those people have to be then reported to the UN Sanctions Committee. That if there is any, of course, immediately we must, the world must put all these Afghan operatives who are there, who are responsible, the officials of the Taliban regime, on the Sanctions Committee. But at the same time, if there's a proof and there's an evidence that some operative of Delhi, working from Delhi, is also part of this nexus, necessary legal action must be taken at the level of the United Nations Sanctions Committee. Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think that should Pakistan anticipate increased external pressure to tighten their border security or to control the refugee screening policies? Because we have seen that what is happening in Pakistan, it is challenging the security of Pakistan as well. And then we have seen in the other countries as well what Afghan nationals are doing.
Yeah, I think so. We need to. I think so far Pakistan has been very polite with regard to the expulsion of refugees from Pakistan. But it looks like to me now, I mean, with all my sympathies with the refugees, and I've always been very, very soft in my narratives. But I think the time has come that we can no more take a risk of harboring these people, and we don't know who is hiding behind it in the garb of the refugees. Then we have also another challenge of, I think, about 25,000 or so Afghans who came to Pakistan to be repatriated to US. Now, if there is a ban, there has to be a decision taken to take them uh, back to Afghanistan. What has to be done? We cannot vouch for them. How can we be sure that they can really not be used by some force within Afghanistan, because there are multiple now non-state actors, state actors, active on creating chaos in the world and spreading terrorism. I mean, I'm really worried that I hope some big tragedy may not fall upon the world like of 9/11. I am very, very worried these days after seeing these indicators which came in from Washington and now in arrest from the taxes.
Exactly,
So
and
I
we
think
all are
an
worried about that because we
emergency
have seen that. We have seen it
for
as threatening our security as well. We have seen that. Thank you so much, G.R. Baloch sir, for joining us tonight. We were joined by G.R. Baloch, who is foreign policy expert and former ambassador. Now coming towards you, Brigadier retired Ghazanfar Ali. So we are talking about the crisis which we are facing when it comes to Pak-Afghan border and the Pak-Afghan peace talks, because we have seen number of peace talks, but they're not agreeing to sign an agreement on it. So in this context of ongoing Pak-Afghan crisis, at the end I want your remarks that what concrete steps should Afghan interim government, Afghan Taliban regime take to prevent the militant group operating from their soil, because obviously they are supporting it, they are backing it, but what steps should be taken? They are under pressure, the third party as well, because who are operating through them. So what the practical steps they should take to ensure their security, to obviously to revisit their domestic policies and obviously their policies towards the neighboring countries?
I mean, their domestic policies have been to force people into their occupation, to force people to accept their regime. So they have to be more open with that. Like the world has been pointing out, and that there is no leverage for women to participate in the nation building in Afghanistan. The education facilities are being denied to the children. But the domestic policies are their own hub of activities. It is their headache whether they take it or not. What I would like to see is related to one point agenda which Pakistan presented in the talk, and that one point agenda was. That one point agenda was not created Pakistan. That one point agenda was agreed by them in Doha negotiation when the Taliban took over and the Americans went back. So there are two aspects which need to be taken in that. One is that soil should not be used for undertaking the terrorist activities in Pakistan. They should harbor all those organizations, all those people, all those leaders which are present in Afghanistan. They have provided safe houses to these terrorists, if you talk of BLA, if you talk of BRA, if you talk of BNA, if you talk of Fitna al-Kharij, if you talk of Fitna, all their top leadership is staying in Afghanistan. And Afghan government has provided safe houses, rest houses into them. Then they should close immediately all those 33 training camps on which Pakistan has marked onto the map and handed over to them. The most important thing is that as Pakistan has erected the fence all along the border, try to ensure that the infiltration places from Afghanistan to Pakistan or from Pakistan to Afghanistan are controlled. Pakistan established checkposts, Pakistan has more. So the same thing is to be done to man. The Afghan government should man the border and man the crossing places so that there is no infiltration, there is no tashkil which is coming from Afghanistan to Pakistan or Fitna al-Kharij or Fitna al But the problem is that they are organizing these things. They are organizing these tashkis. They are directing these terrorist organizations to sneak into Pakistan. And this was said by their minister also.
Thank you,
What did he
Brigadier
say
Ghazanfar.
about?
Thank you. Thank you, Brigadier Ghazanfar. Your point is well taken. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We were joined by Brigadier retired Ghazanfar Ali, who is defense analyst, and he was talking about a new threat that emerged in US, and we have been facing this threat since long. And in today's news at 7, we have also shed light on the Egyptian foreign minister visit to Pakistan as well. That's it from today's show. This is your host, Mahnoor Qureshi, signing off. Keep watching Pakistan TV.